Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. To the kingdom of Israel!
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
The election, an aristocracy, meaning rule of the best, a group or class considered superior to others, a government by the best men in the state, a governing body composed of the best men in the state, and that's the elect. We're about to have it all right? Psalms 37 and verse 11, and it reads, "But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." That word for peace in the Hebrew is shalom, which goes into safety, soundness in body, meaning we're going to truly have rest, welfare, health, prosperity, peace, quiet, tranquility, contentment. So we're going to fully enjoy the planet Earth. We're going to rule and exist within the Lord's creation as we were created to do. I'm ready to rule the world, man. How about you?
Let the golden light of this sunset
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
The ocean spirit dances today to abundance and joy and to eternal peace.
See, this is what we're hoping for. This is part of our hope. Not only that we are members of the elect with fruits meet for repentance, like John the Baptist said, but from our lower state, because we've been brought, even though we have this knowledge, we have this truth. Remember what it said in Revelation. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Because we're rich in faith. We have this knowledge. So our hope is at our last end, we're going to be increased. Okay? And if you ask me, the greatest riches right now is to be delivered by Yahushua, is to get that new body that the Apostle Paul spoke about in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, to get that, get that new body where we'll never be sick, we'll be immortals, like it said in 1 Corinthians 15, to be delivered from the coming destruction, and to be a part of Yahushua's cabinet in the next kingdom. Okay, those are the real riches right now. That's what we want to get. Because if you get that, you got everything. I mean, you got everything. Okay, so our sights are set a lot higher than this present world. All right, as it is written, the fashion of this world shall pass away. We are individuals of vision, and the scripture said, where an individual lacks vision, he perishes. Okay, so we can see the future. All right, and we hope that we're going to be part of it, beginning with the elect.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, teach well. All right, being great examples to us on the brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing this word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Pushing get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. Hey, we back at it. Hey, they back at it. All right. Prophecy, is constantly in full swing. Okay, a lot going on. All right. It started with a back and forth, between the small hats, in Iran. And now America and Iran is fully engaged, and they're picking up where they left off, and this is round 3, and we're gonna, sum up, a few things. But let's get some precepts first, all right, and then we're gonna, just go into a summary, all right, of what we see playing out, dealing with this war, all right, which we know that this war plays a part. All right, in these last few major prophecies, that we are waiting to happen. Now, when you go to the book of Jeremiah 51 and 46, it says, "And least your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, in another year shall a rumor come, and violence." All right, it says, "And violence in the land, and ruler against ruler." Okay, so what we're seeing, is a constant cycle of, conflicts, war breakout, and they go high intense, then they go into low intensity, and then you have rumors and speculations, and you have so-called ceasefires. But what we're seeing is a continuation, of these certain conflicts, because even, you can link everything to after, post-World War II, and you can link the conflicts after World War II to present day where we at now. It's a continuation. Albaratazai, I can tap into that, just follow this story, this narrative of this build up from post World War II to what we see now. But just to sum it up, just going from the 12-day war, with Iran, and the small hats, and America intervened in the end. There was round 1, all right, and then they had a ceasefire that lasted 7 months, and within that 7 months, both sides were building up for the next round, all right, and then you had January 28th, which was round 2, it was a 44-day war, they had the ceasefire in April the 8th, so round 2, all right, the war expanded. You see, it was more nations they got involved. These GCC nations are now involved, okay? Which is, your Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, all right, Saudi Arabia, okay, Qatar. You see, now they're involved in this conflict. And now we seen America and Iran finally go heads up, okay? And Iran, all right, they shocked the world, okay? No one expected Iran to dominate like that, okay? So that was round two, all right? So you had a ceasefire April the 8th of this year, a few months ago, all right? So when this ceasefire, you had, America, dealing with the Strait of Hormuz, they were trying to, wrestle control of the Strait, trying to position themselves, and, and nothing was that they was not able to, prevail. So during this ceasefire, there was a lot of speculation about how much, Russia and China was helping Iran. All right, there was a lot of speculation of Russia and China, giving arms, all right, to Iran. Okay, there was a lot of speculation about China and Russia upgrading, Iran's, all right, defense capabilities. Okay, so now what we seen is yesterday, all right, last night, okay, America and Iran, all right, hey, they went at it, with some heavy exchanges. Okay, so it's on. All right, they back at it. Okay, you had America, okay, strike, inside Iran. There's talks that, they've knocked certain water supplies off in Iran. 20,000 people, water is affected, by certain strikes by America. Okay, and then you have these U.S. Military bases being hit again, and now Iran is striking in Jordan. See, they didn't strike Jordan, all right, in round two. In round three, Iran is striking in Jordan. Okay, they beginning to dismantle and demilitarize Jordan, which Jordan is like a human shield, okay, for the small hats. Jordan has a lot of radars, and Jordan also, they moved a lot of their aircraft, to Jordan. So Iran been striking Jordan heavy. So that's another, all right, government that's been pulled into this war. Okay, and then in round two, Iran didn't intercept none of the Tomahawk missiles, which that's America's most, advanced conventional, all right, missile is the Tomahawk. Okay, and Iran didn't intercept none of them, the second round. But last night, there's speculation, they're talking about Iran has been accepting the Tomahawk missiles, which prove that China and Russia have upgraded Iran's defense, okay, to where now they can intercept, Tomahawk missiles, which they couldn't do in round two. Okay, so what we're seeing is a constant escalation, man. Okay, because this war, all right, is going to continue to escalate as the elites, roll out, this new world order, all right, as they roll out the data centers, okay, as they roll out, more flock cameras, for the surveillance, okay, and as they intentionally, crash the global economy, okay, to the point to where they're going to switch over, to a new currency, and they're going to mandate this technology. So as that's happening, this war is happening as well, because these two prophecies run together. Okay, this Third World War and the MOTB. Okay, they're interlocked. Okay, and this is going to usher in the second coming, okay, of Yahweh Shai. Okay, so what we're seeing now, plus you have the Houthi rebels, they've launched attacks on the small hats, so they're actively involved. So every time we see, because it can be, another ceasefire, but every time they lock back up, more nations are involved, and the strikes are becoming more intensified. Okay, they're coming more amplified. So now, okay, we at the point to where, we're going to see, more U.S. aircraft get down. Okay, because if their missile defense system is upgraded, it's going to be hard for America to get up close on Iran. That's what's caused America to really beg for their ceasefire the first time, because those aircraft was going down more frequently because they ran out of certain munitions to where they could be farther off, and strike Iran to where they had to get close, and they started losing the aircraft. So now, all right, we're going to see, more American aircraft down. Okay, there's speculation, because it's a lot of things, when they first clash, it's good to, let a few days go by, and then really get what you call damage assessments on both sides to see what was done. So right now it's just striking back and forth, and we'll really get to see the damage that's been done, and the damage assessments as the days go by, but there's speculation that Iran, has hit, aircraft and Navy vessels, okay, in the Persian Gulf, okay, with those Chinese, anti-ship cruise missiles. Okay, so a lot of speculation. See, you got rumors and circulating stories, but then when war, when they actually lock up, when they actually go at it, when they go hot, then you get to see, okay, what rumors are true and what rumors are not. Okay, and like I say, as what we're seeing now, okay, Iran did get an upgrade in their defense, all right, in their defense systems, okay, and if they're hitting these Navy vessels, okay, of America, all right, well then China did give them anti-ship cruise missile with the supersonic, cruise missiles, okay, so we're starting to see, what was true and what was not, during this so-called ceasefire. Now, let's get one more precept, So this is beautiful, man, because we know everything play, into our favor, okay? And everything that these elites are doing, it's only going to work against them, okay? So let's go here to the book of Jeremiah 51:33. Said, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of harvest shall come." So America is going to be a threshing floor, because the Lord is, he's only going to allow wickedness to go so far. Okay, and the source of wickedness in the earth is here in America, man. All right, so the Lord's purpose is to destroy America completely. Okay, to utterly destroy this place, to empty America out, man, and turn it into a desert. And this is what this war is leading to, okay, because the elect are going to be, okay, because when you do a harvest, what do? You gather, all the good crops, which is the elect, okay, and then you burn the rest of it, okay, you burn the chaff, you see, and that also purifies, your land for the next planting season. You see, so this harvest, this great harvest, okay, that's coming to America, is the elect being delivered, all right, and everything else being burnt up, okay, and the Lord is going to plant, all right, a remnant of his people, okay, in the earth, in righteousness, man, and righteousness is going to flourish, okay, in the earth, man, okay. So when we see the elites, trying to pull off on the left-hand side, all right, with this tacky new world order, and you're going to get into that as well, it's going to fail. Everything, all right, that these devils have their mind to do is going to fail, and the Lord is going to allow them, to accomplish, all right, a few things, because it's prophecy, so they're going to get to the point to where they mandate this MOTB. So we know that they still have a little role left, all right, in trying to accomplish this new world order, okay, but ultimately it's going to fail, all right, and the Lord has these elites in the trick bag, okay, in America, all right, once again, they got their drugged by these small hats, okay, into this confrontation, and they can't shake it, man, Okay, and they can't shake it. You see, and the elites really wanted their regime change in Iran. Okay, because that would have gave them a monopoly on all the on majority of the Earth's energy. Okay, they would have had a complete monopoly, man. You see, and as this war unfolds, these nations, all right, are starting to come up with treachery against America, man. Okay, America is going to be wiped off the map. Okay, by what these nuclear arsenals of these other nations, man. Okay, along with the fire of the chariots, you see, and then Yahweh Shai, we know he's going to come, okay, and destroy all the militaries of the earth, man. Okay, so this war is going to be that it's an ongoing narrative. Okay, the war is not irrelevant, like you can't make it seem like this war is irrelevant and like it's just a distraction. Now, like we talk about, the war can become a distraction if you get caught up in the politics of war and the things that don't matter. Okay, all this Trump truth social tweets and this and that and Pete Hex self, if you get caught up into that, okay, and Western media and their talking points of the war, it can be a distraction. Okay, but when we look at the war from prophecy, from the perspective, okay, the viewpoint of prophecy, then we're seeing prophecy being fulfilled in the earth. Okay, with this war, you see, so like the war can be a distraction if you pay attention to the politics and the theater. I'm saying the Western media talking points of war, it becomes a distraction, But as we follow these things from the viewpoint of prophecy, man, we're seeing prophecy be fulfilled, and it's going to, because this, like I say, this war is going to erase, all right, Esau's new world order ambition. Okay, you see, because these elites, they started this war, they sicked America, all right, on Iran, okay, for the sake of a global reset, and also to, regime change in Iran, okay? And when their regime change failed, it changed the trajectory of particular things, okay? Now they still get to do that global reset because of prophecy, okay? They get to do that global reset because of prophecy, because the MOTB has to be mandated. So they have to get to a certain point, within this new world order before this war goes nuclear, man. Okay, so let's go to Jeremiah 50:22. It says, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How was Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken, man? Okay, what is the Lord setting America up for failure? You see, Babylon, which has been the hammer of the earth, okay, but what has America been the hammer to? These weaker nations. Okay, but now the Lord has an alliance, all right, that's opposed, to Babylon, that's going to break this bitch apart, man. Okay, and then Yahweh Shai is going to come and just finish off everything, man. Whatever left of America militarily, all right, Russia, Iran, China, Yahweh Shai coming to break all of it up, man. Okay, but see, right now, Babylon is the play. You see, we're watching the Lord set Babylon, America up for failure, man. Okay, and we're watching it fail. You see, verse 24 says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh Bashem al-Shah, man. And America has been, okay, the source of rebellion in the earth, man. Okay, this has been the most anti-Messiah government, okay, in the earth. You see, and now the Lord is going to get at Babylon, and it's going to begin by him raising up these certain nations, okay, to begin to take down, all right, this great hammer, man, which was the American military, man. Okay, the Lord is disarming the elites, man. Okay, the elites are on the back foot. You see, and it says, verse 25, it says, the Lord have opened his armor, and see, the elites in their mind, they play both sides. Okay, that's how they do. Every war they play both sides. Okay, so they win no matter what. Okay, but like we say, your house shot finna destroy both sides, man. So that tactic ain't, that tactic don't work anymore. You see, it said the Lord have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans, man. Okay, and the Lord's getting ready to open up what, their nuclear arsenal. Okay, that's what's gonna end. Okay, this third world war. Okay, it's gonna be through what, nuclear warfare. Okay, and the return of Yahweh Shai. You see, so this is why you've been hearing number talks about, they trying to figure out, the Iran got the bomb. What? Yeah, they got it. You know, of course they got it. All right, they'd be a goddamn fool not to have it. You see, nigga, you got it. Okay, so yeah, let's go from there. All right, and just show you also how even with this AI infrastructure, okay, the devil, he's running into scrapes because the Lord is showing, all right, Esau that he has limitations, man. All right, now you have, let's go here, because of this war is brewing across seas. Well, hell is coming to America, man. America is going to be the worst place to be. It's going to be famine, starvation. If a brother can post it, was it Second Ezra 15 verses 5 and 6, So let's play this real quick, because like I say, the elites, they're going to have to really put hell on America, man, to get, these Americans to bend the knee, and to submit to this new world order, so prepare, for pure hell, prepare to see pure hell come on America, man, so let's let's get this real quick, brother. Got it. This is the brother GMSDC Taza Dagda Yara. Second Ezra 15 and 5. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay? The sword, famine, death, and destruction, man. And this is what's at the door. All right. It's all type of plagues, it's all type of droughts, and then mix in the data centers and really our death centers, okay, which is running through resources, man. Okay, it's creating an atmosphere, for America to be heavily plagued. Okay. Plus, domestic and violence and civil unrest. Okay, and ultimately that ultimate sword gonna be the nukes, man. All right, famine. There's an attack on, the food supply. Okay, there's an economy. All right, hyperinflation. Okay, which is going to destroy. It's going to cut people off from access to food. Okay, and it's going to lead to a lot of death and destruction, man. Okay, so this is what awaits America, man. All right, no good news. Okay, for America. Second Ezra 15 and 6, it said, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, man. So the Lord's going to only allow wickedness to go so far, man. And he's going to punish, the elites, okay, and the coming, okay, American, man. Okay. So all the way from the elites, and the common America and everything in between, the Lord, is going to bring great punishment to the earth, man. Okay. And the masses and the masses are getting ready to suffer, man, especially here in America. So let's play this.
Dabu 7. This is Dabu 7. We've got a massive fish kill. This in Arizona at a lake that's usually packed full of fishermen, San Carlos Lake. This is about 125 miles east of Phoenix. It has suffered a massive fish kill event. Now, the department estimating here that 100% of the fish population within the lake has died. People are concerned. They're saying, well, what has caused this? Largely, this man-made drought manipulation has caused this to happen, and it's going to cause more to happen. Now, with this lake, so to speak, it is a reservoir that is legally tied to the irrigation demands for farms in the downstream communities. So they have to release water every now and then for that, for those farmers downstream. But then when it gets low and it gets super hot, they're saying that it creates the conditions to fry everything in the waterway. So they say at one point, all the fish that had died in one sector made the water toxic. And then that spread. You're talking a lake that is usually filled with largemouth bass, crappie, bluegill, channel cat, everything you could think of. Everything dead, 100%. That is massive. This is a lake that has 158 miles of shoreline. Huge. Everything in it dead. You just don't see it that large every day. That is massive. I have a funny feeling this drought that, again, is man-made and manipulated, it's going to cause more of this to happen. We're seeing Lake Mead super low. They're saying it's going to hit a record low by July. It's right around the corner. And I think that these events are just beginning. Join me for the live stream going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, where I'm talking.
And so everything is drying up, man. You know, you have, what's it, Corpus Christi in Houston. Okay, they're on the drought, restrictions. You can't even wash your car. Okay, you can't water your plants. All right, this is a huge lake, 158 miles of shoreline on one lake, and every 100% dead. Okay, largemouth bass, man. That's a hell of a loss of a food source, man. Okay, you have the Rio Grande, okay, completely dry. Right, it's a desert. Okay, the Hoover Dam low. Okay, and the way that things going is leading to what? A massive famine, man. Okay, and people are not paying attention to this, man. Okay, what is a nigga's number one concern? All right, the Spurs blew them niggas in the Spurs, the playoffs, that's a distraction because you're like, goddamn, the Spurs be up 80 points. The Spurs be up 80 points and lose. You like, goddamn. You see, that's a nigga number one concern. Okay? Something, some type of distraction that means nothing, man. Some type of celebrity, Jay-Z and Drake, that's the new beef now. Okay? But here it is, all right, the atmosphere, okay, is being set, all right, for great famine. Matter of fact, we always get it, 2nd Ezra 16, 21, and 22. Yep, and then the brother got it. I was thinking that too, bro. All right, just the brother. All right, Malak, hopeful, leg 144. Oh, the brother already. Yep, brother already got it. First 22. Yeah, but yeah, bro, if you could put 21 as well, bro. 2nd Ezra 16, 21 says Isaiah 19:6 in the NLT. It said the canals of the Nile will dry up, okay, and the streams of Egypt will stink with rotten reeds and rushes. Okay, so what we're seeing, because we know it's also because when you go into ancient Egypt, it was an agrarian, society, okay, to where their economy, was driven by, agriculture, man. Okay, so we're going to see the economy suffer, and we're going to see the literal agriculture suffer, man. Even though America is more of an industrial society, well, everything is, all right, agriculture, is how, you feed your population. I don't care how industrial you become as a society, well, your agriculture is still how you feed your population. Okay, so as these things begin to dry up, okay, food sources, okay, are being destroyed intentionally, okay, because the elites want starvation and they want to depopulate, man. Okay, and then you have to understand the Lord wants to depopulate, man. So the Lord is allowing these devils to achieve particular things on the left hand that align with his agenda. Okay, but then there's a lot of things that these devils are trying to pull off, all right, that they can't do because hey, it's not the Lord not allowing them to do it. Okay, but the things that align with the will of the Lord, all right, these devils are going to be able to pull it off, man. Okay, it says all the greenery is Isaiah 19:7 in the NLT. It says all the greenery along the riverbank, all right, all the crops along the river will dry up, all right, and blow away. It says the fishermen will lament for lack of work. Those who cast hooks into the Nile will groan, and those who use nets will lose heart, man. Okay, so this place is getting ready to suffer, man. Okay, the stage is being set, all right, for mass famine here in America, man. Okay, mass famine. You see, and this is all prophecy. 2nd Ezra 16:21 is the brother servants of Yahweh. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, man. Okay? So as people are still distracted by, celebrity gossip and the latest rap beef and, the controversy of the NBA and the sports or whatever, okay, as people are easily distracted in America by entertainment, they're not realizing, okay, that their food sources are being destroyed, okay, it's being sabotaged. All right, you have the screw worm now, it was just in Texas, but now it has expanded to New Mexico. So you got that thing going on. You got the World Cup, okay, which the Ebola outbreak, it started in the Congo, all right, the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, okay, and now, all right, matter of fact, today is Thursday, okay, so now you have, all right, the soccer team, the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo soccer team in America. I believe I think they in Houston, okay. Let's see what. All right. Let's see where. And here it is. The team from Congo hasn't came to America, hasn't participated in the World Cup since 1974. Okay. But now that you have this Ebola outbreak in the Congo, these niggas are back in the World Cup. Let's see, let's see. I got another video. See, soccer team B. There you go. Yep. All right. It said the Democratic Republic of Congo national soccer team, all right, is based in Houston, Texas. Okay. So in Houston, Texas, meaning Texas, you have, okay, a lot of water shortages. You have, all right, the screw worm, and then you have Congo, all right, soccer team, in Houston, Texas, one of the most populated, one of the most densely populated cities in America, man. Okay. So we'll see, man. This thing, we're not ignorant of Satan devices, man. We'll see how the devil spin it, man. All right, but we know this nigga's up to something. Okay. So let's segue to this video here. All right. And this show you how destructive, this video here shows you how destructive these data centers is, man. I just want to play this. Thank you, brother. So let's play this, man, just to show you how destructive, these data centers is, and show you also how limited Esau is. He has limitations, man. you know, that the Lord facing the Lord forcing the nigga to have to deal with. You know, Esau, he's being embarrassed, man. Okay, so let's play this.
The AI data center boom does not survive basic physics. This is what society has come to. A Shark Tank billionaire just convinced a small county in Utah to unanimously approve a 9 gigawatt AI data center, larger than the entire electricity demand of the state, by telling them the Chinese will beat us if we do not build it. Before the vote, there was no public environmental impact analysis. There was no independent engineering review. There was no completed water plan.
Who would want us to stop building our electrical grid? Who would want to stop us from having compute capacity to develop AI? Which adversary would want that? There's only one. It's China.
Kevin calls it Wonder Valley and describes it as the biggest project in Utah since the Transcontinental Railroad. But inside the approval room, the mood was not celebration. Hundreds of residents shouted shame, cowards, and people over profits as the data center was getting approved.
All of this is false. Then why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us have questions? It's false. This is not real information.
This is the part that matters. That was not a quiet little disagreement. It was practically a public revolt against a project whose numbers has not survived independent review. Nonetheless, the problem with this is the data center reality that Kevin O'Leary is selling and much of the AI industry is now betting on does not survive basic physics. If you guys don't know me, my name is Jovan. I'm an optoelectronics engineer. I have a master's degree in engineering, and I'm a researcher that studies optics, photonics, and microelectronics. And I just want to give some insight on what's going on. What's being pitched right now, not just by Kevin, but by every hyperscaler in the country, is delusional on a scale that most people do not quite understand. The physics doesn't survive the timeline that's being sold to us. The chips don't exist in the quantity the build out requires. The financing is going in circles, and the moat that justifies the whole $1 trillion spend just got blown up by a Chinese company charging 8 times less for the same exact thing. The strange part is that the people running the build outs, the CEOs whose stock prices depend on it continuing, have already started quietly admitting most of that on record. And I'm going to show you what I found when I checked out what's going on. Before the project was approved, the developer didn't commission a public environmental impact analysis, as I said previously. There was no independent engineering review on the table. The commissioners voted to approve a 9 gigawatt facility across 40,000 acres without one.
This won't be the last one I build.
May I ask, 2,000 jobs? Okay, so relative to the size, the physical size of the project, which, as you noted, is multiple times the size of Manhattan, and the power draw at peak, this data center, your projections, will consume about as much energy as New York City does. But New York City provides almost 5 million jobs, and this project, by your own description, would provide about 2,000 jobs.
So a physicist at Utah State did the work himself. His name is Dr. Robert Davies. He spent 20 years at the USU Space Dynamics Lab with a stint as a technical liaison for the Internal Space Station. He is not an activist. He is a working atmospheric physicist with a NASA resume. He pulled the publicly disclosed numbers straight out of the developer's own filings and ran them. So 3 numbers came out of the filing. The data center itself is rated at 9 gigawatts of compute load.
He's going to go into the numbers, because it takes actual energy and resources to run these data centers. Okay, and Esau limited on it, and then he has to dump the waste back into the earth. So he's going to go into the numbers. All right.
The power is generated on site.
Now you don't have to be an engineer, all right, to just look at these things. Now they go into the gigawatts and the waste, and they talk engineer talk, but we'll just sum it up. All right, we know that this nigga can't keep doing this, okay, but he's gonna go into what these data centers are actually doing if they're operating, man. How destructive they are, to operate, okay.
By a natural gas plant, and a modern combined cycle natural gas plant runs at roughly 55% thermal efficiency, which means for every watt of usable electricity it produces, it also produces about a watt of waste heat, which gets vented as exhaust. Those three numbers are not contested by anyone, not even the developer of the project. So Professor Davies started with a very basic principle of thermodynamics. Every watt of electricity that goes into the data center eventually has to leave as heat, because that is what computation does at the physical level. So just a compute by itself dumps 9 gigawatts of heat into the valley. Then layer in the gas plant. To produce 9 gigawatts of electricity at a 55% efficiency rate, the plant has to burn enough natural gas to release roughly 16.4 gigawatts of total thermal energy. The 9 gigawatts becomes electricity. The remaining 7.4 gigawatts vents into the valley as waste heat. Add the compute heat and the plant waste heat together, and you get a total thermal load of about 16 gigawatts, dumped continuously every day for the 30-year operational life of the facility into one closed desert valley. Put things into perspective.
And then waste heat. Okay. That's what's destroying the environment. Okay. That's what's destroying people. Okay. And then they're running with these diesel turbines. Okay, which accordingly you're not supposed to be able to run more than 2 or 3 at a time, but they're running 30 plus. All right. And this one in Utah, it would take hundreds, okay, of those gas turbines. Okay. And you have all their waste heat just being dumped back into the environment, man. You know, this is extremely destructive what this man is trying to do, man. Okay. But his heart is hardened to try to pull this off. Okay. So he's going to continue on.
Hiroshima bomb released about 6.3 times 10 to the 13th joules of energy per day. If you were to divide the two numbers, that means the AI data center is releasing about 22 to 23 times the amount of energy as the Hiroshima bomb. This is not a random set of numbers. This is the reality that Utah is facing. Translated, what that means for the area around Wonder Valley is that for every single day for about 30 years, the facility will release into the valley a quantity of heat energy equivalent to 23 Hiroshima yield atomic bombs. Professor Davies published the analysis through a Utah water conversion nonprofit called Grow the Flow. The Salt Lake Tribune covered it also. Professor Davies in his published analysis said this direct quote, "This is the energy output of 2.5 New York cities poured into a single confined desert basin in a watershed that's already in crisis." But what does dumping that much thermal load into a closed desert valley actually do? Professor Davies ran it. Daytime temperatures in the local area will go up 2 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Nighttime temperatures will go up 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit. A permanent shift, meaning over the sustained period that the data center exists, these temperature rises will also exist. This means a reclassification of the microclimate will happen. Ben Abbott, an ecology professor at BYU, reviewed the work independently and said this will absolutely change the landscape of the area and can also push the local environment outside of the desert.
That's crazy work. Okay, so it will actually raise the temperature in their region, 7 to 8 degrees. That's a major, like the effect that they will have on the ecosystem. Okay, let's get Ecclesiastes 10 and 16, and let's get the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 22 by Bashar. Okay, this is what this guy's on, man. You see, and this is just one that will create, this type of change in the weather. Okay, because it's like he's dropping atomic bombs, 23 atomic bombs every day in this same spot. Okay, just so he can watch, all right, and surveil every. This is him trying to play the Most High, man. This man will destroy the earth and everything in it to try to be the Most High. Okay, this man's a goddamn idiot, man. Okay, the man's no great genius. This nigga's an idiot, man. You see, but this is why the Lord is going to intervene. Okay, or no flesh will make it, man. He will make the earth uninhabitable, man. Okay, with his ambition to be the most high. So let's play a little more, man. And then if a brother can too, let's get this in let me find it real quick. Brother can get in the NLT Proverbs. All right, 5 and yeah, let's get the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verses 21 through 23 in the NLT Bible. You know, let's play a little more of this. Okay. Yep. It's the brother, all right, Yashima tribe of Judah. Sirach 19 and 22. It said, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Okay, neither at any time the counsel of sin is prudence, man. This is not wise. This is, you know, a nigga boast. You know, like I said, he just made so much advancements with technology and this and that. But then you really look how he applied this thing. You know, this is terrible, man. This is not wisdom, man. Okay, this is pure wickedness. Okay, and vain ambition. Okay, so what we seeing the devil trying to throw together, man, this is not no great genius plan, man. This is goddamn stupidity on its highest level, man. Idiocy, man. He's an idiot. Okay, and he's doing it on the earth that he has to live on. Okay, Ecclesiastes 10 and 16 it says, this is brother servants of Yahweh shall woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning. Okay, so we're seeing the rulers of the earth, man, and we're seeing how childish they are, how irresponsible they are. This is extremely irresponsible to try to pull this off, man. Okay, and the Lord didn't intervene. This man would destroy, all right, the earth, man. You see, he will make the earth uninhabitable, man, to where no life could exist on earth. Okay, so let's play a little more of this, man. This nigga here, man.
And 2, a desert equivalent weather. Now, let's address the water claim. The developers team told the commission that Wonder Valley would use less water than ranching, with closed-loop cooling. The file number for phase 1 was about 24 acre-feet of water for about a 3 gigawatt facility. Professor Davies also ran his numbers against this water claim, and he ran it against the most efficient natural gas plant on Earth, which is located in Astoria, New York. His finding was this: 24 acre-feet for a 3 gigawatt facility is 97% more efficient than the global state-of-the-art, which is a polite way of saying the developer's numbers doesn't exist in known physics. To actually cool 16 gigawatts of thermal load in a desert, Professor Davies estimated you need hundreds of acres of industrial dry cooling infrastructure. The cheaper alternative is to pipe the waste heat into the underground aquifer, which has, in his words, extreme unknown ecological consequences, meaning there's no accurate way to cool this data center. And the numbers that the developers have shown are physically improbable. Nearly 2,300 Utah residents filed formal protests against the water rights application. 3 days after the commission vote, the developer withdrew the application. Whatever water plant is currently being marketed is not the one that was filed. And in Kevin O'Leary's television appearances, he repeatedly claimed that Wonder Valley will be powered partly by, quote, solar, wind, and batteries. The development agreement filed with the state on record says 100% natural gas drawn through the Ruby pipeline from Wyoming. Both of these statements cannot be accurate. The commissioners voted anyway. Everything Professor Davies found out about Wonder Valley scales. Physics does not care what county you're in. So before I leave Utah, I want you to understand.
Yeah, man. So it's a lot of things that the devil is trying to do, man, that he's not going to be able to pull off. Okay. He doesn't have the resources, man. It doesn't line up with reality. Okay. And see, Esau plays on people not understanding how things work, you know, and that's why he's able to lie and exaggerate and make it seem like he just got everything figured out. Nah, man, this is how, you know, he's able to promote AI as this all-knowing God, like, okay, you know, technology, man, because if you don't know how it works, he can tell you any goddamn thing, man. Okay? This nigga be lying. That's why it's called lying wonder. Keyword lying. Okay? So let's get like I say, he's gonna be able, you know, to do everything written in scriptures, which he's gonna, you know, be able to bring on Jacob's trouble. You know, it's gonna be a lot of, you know, death in America. You know, it's gonna be famine. You see, he's gonna be like a madman sparing none, because he still has the ability, you know, to, you know, with this weaponry to go crazy on civilians, man. Okay. And then he's gonna get to the point to where he's gonna have enough infrastructure set up to where he can switch over and say, look, you got to merge with this technology to participate in society. So he's going to get to that point, man. Okay. But there's a lot of things that this devil, you know, wants to do. He's not going to be able to pull it off, man. The way he's trying to scale this thing out, man, he's not going to be able to do it. Okay. The Lord's only going to let him get so far, man, you know, and switch over and, you know, have this, you know, digital system up and running, because he has enough infrastructure. You know, he's getting to the point to where he got enough infrastructure to switch over. Okay, as he's depopulating it, you know. You see? Let's get this in Proverbs 5:21. In the NLT, this is Malak Hope for Elect 144. It says, for the Lord sees clearly what man does, examining every path he takes. Okay? So, you know, what these devils are doing, all right, the Heavenly Father, you know, has Esau Edom. Okay, going back to how he hardened Pharaoh. Esau was hardened, you know, like Pharaoh was hardened, man. Okay, to continue to, you know, be rebellious, even though he was being destroyed. You see, even though Pharaoh was being destroyed, his empire was being destroyed. All right, he still had this rebellious spirit. And Esau Edom, he's in that same spirit of ancient Pharaoh, man. Okay, he's destroying himself, trying to be rebellious. All right, Proverbs 5:22 says, an evil man is held captive by his own sins. They are ropes that catch and hold him, man. So there's no one that's more ensnared than Esau, and he's ensnared by his vain ambition to be the Most High. You know, to where he's disregarding physics, logic, you know, limitations, and he's just gonna try it. You see, this is a bold fellow, man. Proverbs 5:23 says he would die for lack of self-control. You see that? Proverbs 5:23 in NLT, he will die because of lack of self-control. He will be lost because of his great foolishness. You see? He will die for his lack of self-control, man, because he can't help himself, man, you know, to try to pull off being the Most High. With this technology, he can't help himself, man. Okay, regardless of how risky it is, you know, how hazardous it is, even to himself, man, he has no self-control. Okay, it says he will be lost because of his great foolishness, man, showing you that this is a foolish thing that this man has embarked on, man. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave it there, man. All right, like you say, man, the devil, you know, his days are numbered. You know, the Lord, you know, has to intervene, and we're going to constantly see, you know, this war escalate, and we're going to constantly see the devil, you know, get closer to, you know, collapsing, you know, this economy, you know, and roll out, all right, this new system, okay? And he's going to make this technology mandate, all right, mandated, and then the Lord's going to intervene, get this nigga out of here, man, okay? he got to go, man. So, Lord will you, brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Kakudash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the whole elect. Shalom.